Imagine the sky going dark. Not at night, not from clouds, just dark. The sun is still there, but something is wrong. The air is colder than it should be. The animals are quieter. The fruit on the trees is gone. And you don't know why. You have no books, no scientists, no way to understand what just happened to the world. You only know one thing. Your children are hungry. This is not a story from a movie. This is not mythology. This happened 70,000 years ago to real people, to your ancestors, and they almost didn't survive. Tonight, we're going to go back to the moment humanity came closest to disappearing forever. Not from war, not from disease, from a mountain, on an island in what we now call Southeast Asia. A supervolcano named Toba had been building pressure for thousands of years. Deep beneath the ground, silent, patient, waiting. And then it didn't wait anymore. When Toba erupted, it didn't just erupt, it exploded. One of the largest volcanic eruptions in the last 2 million years. The ash didn't fall back to the ground. It rose, higher than weather, higher than storms, into the upper atmosphere, and it spread across Southeast Asia, across South Asia, across Africa, across the world. And the sunlight couldn't get through. Temperatures dropped. Plants struggled. Animals that needed those plants struggled. And these small bands of humans scattered across Africa struggled most of all. Scientists call it a volcanic winter. But for our ancestors, it wasn't a scientific event. It was just life, becoming impossible. Food sources disappeared. Water sources shifted. The forests that had fed entire communities for generations began to thin. The world they knew how to survive in stopped being that world. Now here's where it gets extraordinary. When scientists study the DNA of every human being alive today, they find something strange. We are all almost identical. Not similar the way cousins are similar. Similar the way survivors of the same catastrophe are similar. Every person on Earth today carries the genetic signature of a population that was once very, very small. We don't know the exact number, but some researchers believe it may have been just a few thousand people. A few thousand people on an entire planet. That's it. That's all that was left of us. Think about that tonight. The person you love most in your life. A stranger on the other side of the world. Someone who looks nothing like you, speaks a language you've never heard, grew up in a world completely different from yours. They are your cousin, a distant cousin, but a real one, because you both descended from the same small group of people who sat in the cold and the dark 70,000 years ago and somehow kept going. But why did they survive? Scientists aren't completely sure. Some think coastal groups found food in the ocean when the land couldn't provide. Some think smaller bands of people could move faster and adapt more easily. But there's one theory that stays with me: cooperation. Our ancestors shared food with people who had none. They carried the ones who couldn't walk. They stayed together when splitting apart might have felt safer. And in the middle of a volcanic winter, that may have been the thing that saved our entire species. Not strength, not weapons, each other. The winter eventually ended. The atmosphere cleared. Slowly, the forests came back. The animals returned. And those few thousand survivors began to grow again. Slowly at first, then more. And eventually they spread. Out of Africa, across the Middle East, into Europe, into Asia, across land bridges, across oceans, until every corner of this planet had been found by the descendants of people who almost weren't here at all. The pyramids, the Great Wall, every painting ever made, every song ever sung, every word whispered between two people in the dark, all of it came from those survivors. So as you close your eyes tonight, picture them. Small groups, huddled together, the sky above them wrong, the air too cold, the children too quiet, They had no way of knowing they would make it, no way of knowing that what they were protecting was everything. But they kept going anyway, and because they did, you are here, in a warm bed, safe, breathing, alive. You are not here by accident. You are here because someone, a very long time ago, chose to keep going when the world went dark. You carry that in you, in your blood, in your bones, in every breath you take tonight. And the story isn't finished, because after surviving the edge of extinction, something changed in us. Tools became more refined. Art began to appear. Language may have deepened, as if nearly disappearing made us more alive. That's a story for another night. For now, rest. 70,000 years of survival brought you here, and somehow, against everything, here you are. Good night.